Hopes of an export-driven recovery for Australia have been dashed, with the trade deficit doubling in May. The monthly result has come in at $556 million as exports slid 5%. And in a worrying sign for future growth, local businesses continue to cut back on purchases of capital equipment. Neil Woolrich reports.
It's another sign of the economic malaise. In just 7 months, Australia's international trade has shrunk in value by almost a quarter. The trade deficit grew to $556 million in May, up from a revised $282 million shortfall in April. Exports fell 5% for the month, outpacing a 4% drop in imports. CommSec economist Savant Sebastian says the strengthening dollar is making the trade position more difficult.
Overall, it's likely that the Aussie is expected to appreciate even further. In fact, our currency strategists expect the Aussie to get up to 88 US cents by June of next year. So certainly it will make imports cheaper, exports more expensive, and as a result, trade deficits further in the red.
Coal, coke and briquette sales fell 15%, largely because of plunging contract prices. The value of other mineral and commodity exports was also down, suggesting to some that Chinese stockpiling might be coming to an end.
I think certainly in base metals, we've seen that the State Reserve Bureau has pulled back in terms of stockpiling, but importantly in terms of iron ore, from China's perspective, it is not likely that they'll pull back from a significant stockpiling because you've certainly got Japanese importers also looking at Australian iron ore at the moment.
And the headline result would have been worse if not for a big drop in imports as well. Shipments of consumer goods fell 1% as households tightened their spending. But a bigger concern for policymakers might be the 14% plunge in imports of capital goods like machinery and industrial equipment.
Well, we have seen over the last couple of months that capital expenditure data has shown that businesses are looking to pare back investment, and it certainly has been reflected in this trade data. I think that going forward, we will see that businesses will continue to pull back investment over the next 6 months. Cost cutting by businesses is certainly in vogue. They're not looking to splash out big.
Capacity utilisation is currently running at around 76%, so it's come down substantially, and that means that there's plenty of scope for business to re-gear itself when demand picks up. The fact that investment's been put off suggests that there's plenty of spare capacity. They're in a position to gear up production, and investment can be delayed until demand is much stronger.
Tony Pensabene says the Australian Industry Group's members are gearing up for a recovery sometime in the next 6 months, but aren't setting their hopes high.
Our expectations are that growth will be modest, the recovery will be slow, and that at the end of the recovery, conditions will be much softer than they were 2 or 3 years ago.
But as things stand, most businesses and consumers would probably settle for any sort of rebound at all, even a weak one.